Let's get her going. We'll open her up to some questions. Let's start with James Crapia from the Oregonian.
Verone, tell us a little bit about how much terminology has bine held over. Coach Ruder was telling us a little bit that some stuff has been held over from the previous defense. How much has, and what has the learning process been like in the install?
Definitely some different terminology, but just making sure you put things in categories. It hasn't been too hard, I would say. I think it's another solid defense, and I think we'll be ready. We've enjoyed it so far. I feel like a lot of guys are locked in, and mentally, I feel like we've elevated just learning defenses and understanding concepts and things like that. I feel like as a whole collective, as a defense, we've gotten better at that. So I think the transition has been pretty smooth.
Andrew Hobner, KZI.
Yeah, Verone, I know we've talked about just kind of the inconsistency of last year with not knowing there would be a season or would there, then there's a shortened season. And it seems like as things are slowly getting back to normal, this spring ball period kind of seems a little bit more like it. Is that a noticeable difference for you guys when it feels a little bit more normal than what the fall was?
Definitely. We've kind of, we're kind of used to everything. So like making sure we keep our mask on and socially distance. I mean, things are getting better, but like we can't take our foot off the pedal yet. But definitely it's been pretty back to normal, I would say. I'm sure there's more steps we got to take to fully get there, but we're excited. Things have been going normal, workouts, officially having spring ball again, and we're having fun with it. So
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Verone, Keith and Andy had been here for a long time while you'd been here, most of the time you'd been here. Talk about not seeing them around and kind of how have Coach DeRuiter and Marcel Yates kind of integrated themselves and kind of just from a person-to-person basis kind of built these relationships early on?
Well, that's the nature of college football. There's always movement, especially when you do well. So, things happen. But Coach DeRuiter and Coach Yates done a great job already. I feel like the guys, we're all good with them, and we know that what they're doing and teaching us, we're applying it. You can see it on the field. And Coach Yates recruited me when I was a freshman, so I've known Coach Yates for a while now. So even that transition has been pretty smooth, and just understanding what we need to get better at as a whole collective DB unit and to improve on that this upcoming season.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Verone, you guys have had some time to think about last season and look at what to improve on for this coming season. When you look at the defensive back unit, what do you think the unit as a whole needs to improve on for this coming season?
Honestly, I would say everything from tackling, stickier coverage, communication, everything. I think this group is special. I'm going to say it now. I think this group is special. We have a lot of guys who have played a lot of football and a lot of young guys that are stepping up and look like they can make an impact this upcoming season. So really improving everything, because I feel like it's hard to just pinpoint one thing, but playing collectively as a unit, communicating to everybody across the field, not just one side communicating to one and the other. It makes it a collective thing. We're all communicating, and that way I feel like our play will increase. So
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Verone, there's going to be a lot of new faces in the secondary this year. And just your thoughts on the leadership there from you, and also Brian Addison playing safety. What have you seen from him?
Well, for me, I mean, I feel like I kind of took that step last year of taking on that leadership role, and now I feel like I'm the general back there. I got to be the guy. I got to feel like I have that responsibility on my shoulders, and I put it on my plate in order to make sure that we're leading this defense. As I feel like we're the guys that make everything go. If we don't perform well, then the front can't get home. So it works hand in hand. And then for Brian Addison, Scoop, Jalen Davies, different guys, I mean, they've done a great job already just making that transition. You can tell they're special guys already, and they don't look normal. You can tell they're not normal. They're making that transition and understanding the speed is a little different from high school to college. So those guys have done a great job, and they're improving day by day.
Rob Mosley, go Ducks.
Verone, first thing, just what you said you had fun today. What made today fun? And then secondly, if I could follow up on that too, you guys made a big jump a couple years ago. I know it was a different system last year, but there was some slippage in rankings last year. What do you do? What do you feel like the biggest couple things are that you guys want to fix and do better this year compared to last year?
Okay, so I'll answer the second question first. I would think it's our mental side. I don't think it was the physical. I think mentally, as a defense, we had to lock in more. And I think with so much going on, it was like, what are we doing? Whatever. And I feel like this year we've had the mindset meetings. We've trained for a full 6 weeks or whatever it is. We haven't had any issues with COVID or anything like that. So I feel like this year, going into this year, we're all the way locked in. Our bodies are right. people are healthy, guys are mentally locked in and understanding the defense. So I feel like tying all that in together along with the pursuit and getting our hands on balls and running to the ball, all of that is going to help us increase to be that top tier defense that we all know we can be and want to be. And then two, we got our hands on a lot of balls today. We had some interceptions, 1s, 2s, 3s, a lot of guys making plays. I'm not going to call anything out. Me and AB have been going back and forth since the beginning. So I kind of got him today. So that was exciting. So we had a good practice, but just trying to do that every day. The offense gets some wins too. I'm not going to not give them credit. They get some wins in one-on-ones and some good catches, and they throw some good balls as quarterbacks. So just competing. I feel like this year, competing wise, just within the spring, it's really competitive. It's one of the more competitive spring balls I've had since I've been here. So it's been fun.
Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Verone, one of the talking points at this point last year was filling in the void left by Javon Holland. After we saw the emergence of Jamal Hill last year, what have you seen from him so far, and what's it like to maybe have a little bit more certainty in that unit now?
Jamal's more comfortable. I would say he's comfortable now. He knows what he needs to do. He's played it pretty much. He played all last year, so now it's taking that next step for him as to being dominant. It's all about being dominant after you kind of have that initial phase. So for him, he's done a great job. He looks like a vet out there, I would say. Even those little games, he looked like a vet. And then what was the second question?
Just about having him there kind of as a more solidified guy, since last year you were kind of trying to figure out who was going to take over for Vaughn.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely solidified himself, and we have other guys as well, even with Bennett. Bennett can also do a great job there. And then young guys like Jeff Bassa. We have a good 3 deep of guys who can go in and make plays right now. So I think that being able to have that dependable depth, and with Jamal taking that next step and making everybody have to compete even harder to want to take that spot, it just makes it even better, because we want competition in the room. We want every day to be a competition and make it seem like not a position isn't certified. You got to work for it.
We got time for 2 more with Verone. Tyson Alger, The Athletic.
Hey, Verone, just considering the position that you play and then also how much you like tape and diving into film as it is, when you get a new defensive coordinator or even a position coach, like what was the first thing that you jumped into in looking them up?
Well, I kind of already knew who Coach Yates was, and then with Coach DeRuiter, I knew he was at Cal, so seeing some of that tape as well. But I mean, it comes down to just understanding football and understanding concepts and coverages and blitzes and where your help is. So for me, I kind of went and took it upon myself to go back and just go through the basics, go through each adjustment, 2x2 to 3x1, formation to the boundary, empty. And I go through that, make the calls for each side of the field. And that's kind of how I learn it quicker. So to be able to make those calls, whether I'm in the boundary or whether I'm in the field or whether I'm at nickel. So that's just kind of how I break things down to understand it.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Vern, I wanted to follow up a little bit with Marcel and his time recruiting you on the trail. How did you guys connect? What was it about him? And I guess just in terms of that transition to now you're playing for him, how kind of surreal is that this is somebody about 3 or 4 years ago you might be playing for at Arizona, and now he's here?
It's been pretty cool. I mean, he's the same coach that recruited me when he was at Arizona. I mean, he hasn't changed, and now it's even cooler because, when you get into that room and you get to go over a defense and go over techniques and in the scheme, it's a good mix of both. And I feel like we've been learning quick. I feel like the guys have really gravitated towards him and understand what he's talking about, and we're doing our best to implement that in practice, whether it's a little detail that he critiques us on or even the big things as a group. So it's been cool. It's been fun. He's a great coach and really does a great job with us. So I'm excited to display everything he's kind of helped us with this year.
Appreciate it, Verone. We'll get you later in spring ball.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.